Welcome to Using Technology to Advance Equity and Inclusion, Accessibility Tools for Diverse Learners. In this video, we will discuss tools for children with visual impairments. This series was funded by the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood through the Governor's Education Emergency Relief Fund. This presentation was created by educational consultants from Learn Regional Educational Service Center. This video will introduce parents to various accessibility tools that can help children with visual impairment, including blindness. And it will demonstrate how these tools can help children with visual impairment access and engage with educational content. What is a vision impairment? Visual impairments in little ones can look very different from child to child. Some children might not be able to see at all, while others might have very limited vision, and others might not be able to see certain colors clearly. These kinds of vision issues can show up at any age. For some kids, these problems might be short-lived, but for many, they'll stay the same as they grow. In some cases, these conditions can get worse over time, leading to more serious vision loss or even blindness as they get older. It's really important to catch these issues early. Getting the right help quickly can make a big difference in helping your child learn and grow in the best way for them. That's why health professionals check your baby's eyes from the moment they're born and keep checking as they grow up. These regular eye checks are key to spotting and managing any vision problems early, giving your child the best start possible. In the United States, people are legally blind if their best eye has 20/200 vision or less with the help of glasses or contact lenses. Having 20/200 vision means that a person cannot be more than 20 feet away to see what a person with normal vision can see from 200 feet away. The United States also considers people legally blind if their visual field is 20 degrees or less, even with the help of glasses or contact lenses. Having a visual field of 20 degrees means that people have trouble seeing to the side, also known as peripheral vision, when looking straight ahead. A vision test is used to measure a person's visual field. Legal blindness does not mean that a person cannot see at all. People who are legally blind often have some vision, but their field of vision may be very narrow or blurry, or they may have blind spots that glasses cannot correct. Low vision is when your child can't see all the things they should be able to see for their age. Your child might have low to no vision, blurred vision, or loss of side vision. Children might not be able to see some colors. This is called color blindness. Red and green color blindness is the most common type. This is when you have trouble telling the difference between greens, browns, reds, and oranges. Blue-yellow color blindness is when you have trouble telling the difference between blues and yellows. This type of color blindness is rare. Nearly all children with color blindness are boys. About 8% of boys have red-green color blindness. Boys usually inherit color blindness from their mother's side of the family. Here are some things to look out for. Eye exams by your child's doctor are an important way to identify problems with your child's vision. Problems that are found early have a better chance of being treated successfully. What are some warning signs of a vision problem? For babies up to 1 year of age, babies older than 3 months should be able to follow or track an object, like a toy or ball, with their eyes as it moves across their field of vision. If your baby can't make steady eye contact by this time or seems unable to see, let your child's doctor know. Before 4 months, most babies' eyes occasionally look misaligned. However, after 4 months, Inward crossing or outward drifting that occurs regularly is usually abnormal. If one of these is present, let your child's doctor know. For preschool age, if your child's eyes become misaligned, let your child's doctor know right away. However, vision problems, such as a lazy eye, may have no warning signs, and your child may not report vision problems. That's why it's important at this time to have your child's vision checked. There are special tests to check your child's vision, even if he or she cannot yet read. For all children, if you notice any of the following signs or symptoms, let your child's doctor know. Eyes that are misaligned, meaning they look crossed, turn out, or don't focus together. White or grayish white color in the pupil. Eyes that flutter quickly from side to side or up and down. Eye pain, itchiness, or discomfort reported by your child. Redness in either eye that doesn't go away in a few days. Pus or crust in either eye. Eyes that are always watery. Drooping eyelids, or eyes that often appear overly sensitive to the light. What if you have some concerns about your child's development? Begin by talking with your child's doctor. If you still have concerns after talking with your child's doctor, you can reach out to 211 of Connecticut by dialing 211. You do not need to wait for a doctor's referral or a medical diagnosis to make this call. If your child is age 3 or older, you can also call any local public elementary school, even if your child does not go to school there. Say, I have concerns about my child's development, and I would like to have my child evaluated through the school system for preschool special education services. If the person who answers is unfamiliar with preschool special education, ask to speak with the school or district special education director. Here are some accessibility tools available on electronic devices for children with mobility issues. On Apple devices, voice control allows you to navigate your device using just your voice. Commands like click, swipe, and tap help you easily interact with your favorite apps. You can precisely select, drag, and zoom by showing numbers alongside the clickable items or by superimposing a grid on the screen. Visit the link shown on this slide for more information. On Apple devices, switch control makes it easy and efficient for children to control their devices with a variety of adaptive switch hardware, wireless game controllers, or even simple sounds. If they have extensive motor limitations, you can use item, point, and manual scanning to navigate sequentially through on-screen keyboards, menus, and the dock. Visit the link shown on this slide for more information. On Apple devices, Assistive Touch for iOS and iPad let you customize your touchscreen to fit your physical needs. If certain gestures, like pinch or two-finger tap, don't work for your child, swap them with a gesture that does, or create a touch that's all their own. Visit the link shown on the slide for more information. Android devices also all have accessibility tools to assist with mobility. Voice access allows children to move fluidly around their devices totally hands-free. Open apps, navigate between screens, type messages, and even edit text, all just by talking out loud. Visit the link shown on this slide for more information. On Android devices, set up action blocks on your child's device home screen for easy access to common tasks, from calling a loved one to watching your favorite show. Then, when you want to phone home, simply tap the button that says Call Home. Visit the link shown on the slide for more information. On Android devices, use the Camera Switches tool to turn your device's front-facing camera into an adaptive tool. This allows you to use similar facial gestures, such as looking right or opening your mouth to navigate apps and select content. Visit the link shown on this slide for more information. And finally, the Look to Speak feature on the Android allows your child to look left or right to select a word or phrase, and the device will speak the phrase out loud. You can also set up a custom phrasebook for all the common things you'd like to say. Here are some tips to introduce toddlers, preschoolers, and kindergartners with visual impairments to technology. First, know your child. Does he or she have a favorite song or book? Does he or she love animals and animal sounds? Choose a simple app that contains highly motivating content that will capture your child's attention. The goal is always for visually impaired child to be able to do the same tasks as his or her peers. For a toddler, a technology-based task might be to swipe and or tap in order to listen to a favorite song or to interact with a very simple cause and effect app. Young children succeed when tasks are broken down into small, bite-sized chunks. An app that is predictable with repetitive gestures will build the student's muscle memory. The tap gesture is the most basic gesture. Many popular cause and effect toddler apps require repetitive single taps to activate fun sounds. For example, the Peek-a-Boo Barn app has an animal sound when the child taps the screen, and a child's voice names the animal. Many of the popular children's books can be set to require a tap to turn the page. Once the child is proficient with a basic tap, add the right or left swipe gesture. If the task is to learn the right or left swipes and taps, try games like the I Hear You app that requires the player to swipe between the various animals and select the desired animal. Practice the same gesture using several apps that use the same gesture. Another right or left swipe activity is navigating to the desired app. Position the child's favorite app on the home screen towards the bottom of the screen and encourage the child to quickly right swipe multiple times in order to locate the desired app. Working on a 3-finger swipe right or left, place the student's favorite apps on the second or third home screen page. Is the class working on letters? Asking the child to braille the same letter over and over again quickly becomes a boring task. However, playing a fun game that happens to include producing the desired letter multiple times is much more motivating, especially if that game is a digital game with amusing sound and interactions. For example, exploring Braille with Madeline and Ruff app, it uses a refreshable Braille display paired with an iPad. Young children love to listen to the fun sounds within an app, the dog barking, the child laughing, etc. Many ebooks, including ebooks that are interactive, can be used to reinforce listening and comprehension skills. These books are self-voicing and have fun sounds. With the interactive story app, Sit in a Tree by Ohm Books, the child can randomly tap on the screen to hear a sound or word. This book is used without voiceover, and students do not have to see the page to activate the interactions. Keep in mind that children with visual impairments will be listening to auditory textbooks, literary books, and resources throughout their educational career and beyond. Listening skills are critical. Students should also be encouraged to listen to screen readers such as voiceover, screen reader hints, and spoken hints. Voiceover hints provide important information. Young children who are visually impaired and blind often struggle with spatial concepts and initially learn best when these concepts are taught with tactile materials. Create a tactile overlay to demonstrate the device's home screen or an app screen's layout. For example, when teaching the virtual rotor on the iPad, use tactile materials to reinforce the concept. For example, you can lay a piece of paper over the iPad and trace around the apps with a pencil, then go over the lines with a hot glue to make a tactile representation of the iPad app. When teaching a child a new gesture, such as a double tap, first model the gesture. Since most children initially double tap too slowly, and the device assumes the gesture is a simple tap gesture, have the child quickly clap twice or knock on the table twice before trying to do a real double tap. A touchscreen device has a powerful advantage over the traditional computer. Children can physically drag a finger around the screen to develop spatial concepts. On an iPad, the back button is typically in the left corner, while the next button is in the bottom right corner. There are specific gestures, braille displays, and Bluetooth keyboard shortcut commands that will jump the focus to the first and the last item on the screen the child will later use to become more efficient with his or her technology. Teach your child to explore each app's layout by dragging a finger on the screen. Swiping does not provide the same spatial feedback. Discover the toolbar at the top of the screen and what buttons are there. When on the home screen, children should be made aware of and learn to use spatial relationships. Place the child's favorite apps in the corners and teach the student to use the physical corner of the iPad, then quickly drag a finger in that area to locate the desired app. Discuss and provide opportunities to develop good spatial concepts while navigating apps. For example, the Wheels on the Bus app by DuckDuckMoose requires the child tap the bottom right corner to turn the page. Here are some tips for parents and caregivers on how to best support your visually impaired child's learning and development. Here are some practical strategies to help you along. Remember, young children have very short attention spans. It's a good idea to plan activities that are brief and engaging. Be ready to switch things up with a similar activity to keep them interested without overwhelming them. Young children thrive on repetition. It helps build their muscle memory. Use apps or activities that encourage repetitive gestures. This not only helps in learning new skills, but also makes activities predictable and fun for them. They love knowing what comes next. At the start of each session, take a moment to review previous skills. Stick with familiar apps and activities to build both familiarity and endurance. Gradually introduce new skills and activities over time to ensure steady progress without causing frustration. If your child finds certain gestures challenging, consider alternative tools. For instance, a refreshable braille display or using the arrows on a Bluetooth keyboard can make a big difference. And finally, it's essential to involve everyone in your child's development. Make sure educators, daycare providers, and family members are aware of what your child can do with technology and what they are currently learning. Everyone should be familiar with how to use screen reader gestures and how to turn the screen reader on and off. By following these tips, you'll create a supportive and effective learning environment for your child. Together, we can make technology a powerful tool for their growth and independence.